to see you this morning. So lovely to see you this morning. So we were just talking about all the ways that we've met before I was an English National Opera Harvard artist.
Yes.
Like we met I mean, the first thing I remember is seeing you always on stage. And every time I went to E&O, there was this person in the chorus that I felt was always just like shining out.
Was I trying to upstage everybody?
No, I just think it's just you. You're just, yeah, I don't know, you're just amazing. There's this starlet quality about you when you see you on stage. You just shine. It's radiant. And then you were just telling me that we did a concert together with Calvin Lim.
We did. This was a long time ago. So it was St James's Piccadilly.
Yeah.
And about 8 to 10 years ago, could have been longer. And the lovely Kelvin Lim was putting together a kind of an opera gala. And I think there were at least 15, 16 of us singing. And we all got up to sing a couple of arias. And I remember you because we all turned up in our, gowns for the final concert. Yeah. And there was you in this stunning white gown with rhinestones all over it. I mean, again, you just glowed. It was just, she's very comfortable. She looks stunning. She looks the part. It was hilarious. It's fabulous. And then you sung something amazing, some big Verdi or something. But yes, that was the first time I think I'd seen you.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we both wrote an article for Darren Abrahams and for the Singing Entrepreneur, I think it was called.
Yes.
And so we all had our life experiences of what music means to us, or and I talked about chorus. So yes, we have had a connection before you got to E&O.
Exactly. Right, it's 9:01. Good morning, 9:01. 9:01. And hi. I am Nadine Benjamin. I am the Intuitive Verdi Soprano. I am a certified NLP mind coach. I am a certified high performance coach. And I'm also a healer and a professional opera singer and who loves singing all over the world. And I love connecting, championing and celebrating people. And this morning I am going to be celebrating someone who I have known from afar and now know from very close up. It is the Soprano Claire Pendleton. She is a member of English National Opera Chorus, and her roles have included Laura in Louisa Miller recently, Tetka Yenufa, and she has covered Dame Josephine Barstow in the role of Maud in Ripper, The Women of Whitechapel. Oh, it's so lovely to have Claire here. And as I say every single morning, we are not medical doctors or psychiatrists. So if you do need that hand, if you're thinking about it or you're deliberating, oh, shouldn't I, pick up the phone, get someone to also help you if you don't feel that you can. And if you know someone who's shy like that, please get in contact with them and just check in on them and see if they're okay. Definitely. All right, Claire.
Hello, my darling.
Oh, look at you in that wonderful green. You're just
happy colour.
You're just such a beautiful, joyous soul. I love you. I really, really do. Morning, Susan. Lovely to see you. So I wanted to ask you, my lovely, why singing?
Ooh. So from a very young age, apparently, my mother told me that I used to sing myself to sleep. Don't remember that. So she used to say, you used to look so calm when you were singing, wherever you were, but I used to sing myself to sleep. And I thought, that's interesting. I did like singing, but I was very shy. Hard to believe, but I was very shy.
No, I didn't.
A wonderful teacher at my senior school, Peter Smith, really took me under his wing and gave me a chance to shine. And I couldn't believe that he thought I was good enough to sing. So that was kind of like a hobby. And then I continued to have ENT problems from a very young child. And I went to see a doctor about it, and I thought, this is getting in the way.
So when you say ENT, Claire, you mean ear, nose and throat?
So ear, nose and throat, yes, because I was born breech and I always had these issues with breathing and yucky lungs and, colds, coughs, tonsils, all that problem. And the doctor said to me, well, you really need to expand your lung capacity and learn to breathe deeply and use the whole of your lungs. So he just said, do you like swimming or singing? And I said to him, well, swimming, I don't like to put my head underwater first because I have this breathing issue. I'd worry that I can't breathe. So I said, I do like singing. He said, well, take it a bit more seriously and do a lot more because you got to learn to breathe properly. And I think he was a bit of an amateur singer, so he did know a little bit about what he was talking about. So I started trying the singing. I went to a youth club and somebody heard me and said, oh, there's more. That's a great voice. Do you have singing lessons? And I said, no. So they introduced me to their singing teacher. I think I was about 15. His name was Norman Wellesby, and he lived in Winchmore Hill. And he was wonderful. He was an opera singer, and he started me off just training. And I fell in love with it. I totally fell in love with it, and it helped my lungs. So what more can you ask for? You know, something you fall in love with, makes you feel good. It really did make me feel I was in a happy place. Plus my breathing was getting better. So
who would have thought that, you know, most people that you ask, you know, why singing, they say it's because it's the first thing, it's the only thing, and and like for you to say, you know, I had to choose singing because of my lungs, because
that's how I felt. That's how I felt. I needed to stretch that to stop having this. I just was always croaky throat and gunk, and I thought, this is ridiculous, there's got to be a way. So, you know, us singers fight with it all the time, whether or not it's hay fever or whatever.
Absolutely.
But the deep breathing really helps, you know.
Wow. So how did your singing and your career evolve? What happened?
So I started off at Southgate College Opera in North London. They were wonderful, and my first opera there was La Traviata, and I was in the chorus there. Gorgeous, lovely group of people, and absolutely adored that. And then we had auditions for Aida, and I thought, let's go for a little role. And the only other little role is the High Priestess, and I got it. It was wonderful. So that was joyous. So I started there, and then I think we did something like Pirates of Penzance, and I got to sing Mabel. And the next year, I think we did Carmen, and that's where I met the wonderful Anthea Parishak.
Oh, I love Anthea.
Who came to sing Frasquita there. So we have that connection too, that we both know Anthea. So, started off in the Pro-Am, loved it so much. Started doing some singing competitions, did quite well there. And then it got to the stage where I met a boyfriend and he didn't like it. And he said, you're embarrassing yourself. What are you doing? You're embarrassing me. Don't do this singing lot. So I kind of gave it up for a few years. I was so depressed and I missed it so much. And my parents said to me, this is ridiculous. You've kind of lost part of you. You've lost yourself. You've got to get back into it.
I really identified with that. I really do. Like that song, I feel like something, part of me shuts down.
You just feel like you've lost a limb if you're not doing it. It's kind of how I feel at the moment with this lockdown. So luckily the boyfriend went, hurrah! And I got back into singing, and I had singing lessons, and really seriously 2 a week. You know, I really wanted to take this seriously. And then I decided to apply for my equity card because I did a lot of concert work. So that was great. And then I started to get the odd professional gig, little gigs like Covent Garden Music Festival. I sang Queen of the Night there. I sang Frasquita there with Opera Live, who's another great group. And I kind of auditioned for all these companies that used to advertise in the back of the stage, a newspaper, which was great. And that's how I started. And then I thought, I need a bit more stability in the kind of my music knowledge, and I need to learn a bit more. So I auditioned for Mary Hill and Anthony Shelley, who ran Abbey Opera.
Mary Hill. Oh,
so I did their opera course. I love Mary Hill. She's just wonderful.
The taskmaster.
Oh
my God!
What can't she do? She's just fabulous.
I know.
So they had this course linked with UCL, University College London. So we did this wonderful course with them.
Yeah.
And I got a distinction in performance. I couldn't believe it. We had to write essays and everything. We had to learn dance choreography. This was just an eye-opener. I thought,
Yeah.
this is so exciting. I've got to audition for college. And then I thought, oh, can't do undergrad, you know, maybe postgrad. And I auditioned and I heard about this wonderful teacher at Trinity College of Music
Yeah.
called Wendy Ethorne.
Oh.
And I auditioned,
Yeah.
got in, and luckily I wrote to her saying, is there any chance you have any room to teach me? Because I know all you teachers are so busy.
Yeah.
And she said, well, let's have a session. Had a session with her, and that was it. Got to teach, you know, learn with her at college for 2 years. Loved it. Did lots of wonderful repertoire.
Yeah.
I got to sing 2 fabulous roles. I got to sing Madame Lidouane in The Dialogue of the Carmelites.
Yes. Yes.
And that was amazing. And I got to sing the lead role in Barber's Vanessa.
Oh,
So they
we
are
love Vanessa.
huge roles at
Yeah.
college. I mean,
Yeah.
I was in heaven. It was
Oh,
great. I had a very good experience. Very few of my friends did at college, but I
yeah.
only did the postgrad. It
Yeah.
was enough for me.
Yes. I love
So yeah,
it. Was enough for me.
it was enough for me. And then I thought, right, I've got to go out there now. I've got to be a big girl and work at this. So then I auditioned.
Yeah.
And got some role. Got a job with Richard Hickox at the Spoleto Festival in Umbria.
Yeah.
Rose and Cavalier we got to do, and a number of other concerts, and that kind of set me off. And then I got an audition for E&O, and got in doing some extra chorus in 2001. Yeah, that was my first experience of E&O. Gosh, 19 years ago.
That's amazing. So Rebecca is just saying, oh my goodness. And Bobby Jeffrey is saying, I had Wendy for a while too. So
Bobby Jeffrey! Good morning, darling. Wendy's wonderful. Wendy's just a tiny little lady with so much energy. I was so drawn to her. Really good, hard taskmaster.
A really good teacher is a wealth. It's just such a, you know, because it's about connecting with the soul, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you just need.
I've been very lucky with teachers. Very lucky.
Yes, me also. I absolutely agree with that. So you did this extra chorus. So tell us why the chorus. Like, why choose in a chorus? Tell us.
So there are kind of 2 sides to it. I'm a very practical person.
Yes. Can't
help that. It's just me. I've got to have some routine, which has gone well up the window at the moment. I don't know who I am. This is the first day of putting on makeup. You know, it's a bit of a shock. But I'm very practical, and I started as a freelance soloist. Loved it, but there wasn't enough work and I wasn't making enough money. I got into debt, as we all do. I couldn't pay my bills. I thought, I can't go on like this. Is there an option to sing full time and opera? And luckily, one of my singing teachers after Wendy Ethorne was Keith Bonington. Wonderful man that sang in the chorus for I don't know how many years, at least 30. He was a wonderful teacher, and he gave me a lesson and said, God, you should take this seriously. Let's work on you and get you in here. So I worked with him. Then he retired. He and his wife were in the chorus. They retired, kept going, and did a lot of extra chorus there, and thought, you know, I'm enjoying this because freelance work doesn't come around as often as you need it to. E&O were being very loyal to me, I felt. Charles Krause was a wonderful chorus manager, and he always offered me work every season. I had lots of work. So I was an extra for about 4 years. Then I was asked to fill in for full time for 3 years. So I was literally doing the job for 3 years before I got the official contract. And that was hard. It was exhausting, and I learned a lot about stamina, about pacing yourself, late nights, bad travel, working with wonderful conductors, directors, choreographers from all around the world. And I thought, you know, this is such a lovely experience, and I feel safe that I'm with a big group, because they always look after you. If you're ever stuck on stage or you can't remember something, there's always somebody that clocks it, and they will look after you, and the audience wouldn't know. So the stuff we get up to on stage isn't always necessarily what the director has asked for, but we get through it. So there's been some interesting times. So I just thought when a job came up, there were 3 jobs going for Sopranos. I have to go for it. Wow. And I think because they knew me and knew the other girls, some of the other girls, they really put you through your paces. You can't just get the job. You have to work hard. And I remember having to have a working session with Martin Fitzpatrick.
Yeah. He's amazing. I love Martin.
Oh, he's wonderful. Wonderful,
love him.
Martin.
Love him.
And I met him at Spoleto because he came in as a chorus master at Spoleto to do some English madrigals. So I got to work with him then. I think he might have been at the Royal Danish Opera at the time. So that's another great connection. We all end up at ENO. So it does now feel like a family. And I'm so surprised that I miss it so much, because when we're there, we all moan about, oh, I'm tired, oh, this, that, the other, oh, I don't like my wig. But when you don't have it, I'm absolutely beside myself. I feel like I've got a limb missing. It's not right, you know, so I want my family back.
God bless you. Hi, Marjorie. So lovely to see you.
Hello, Marjorie.
So tell me, you know, like, I mean, I've witnessed the chorus, like, you know, when I did Musetta in La Boheme, I've never been so moved. It was because it's for me, I was, you know, the first couple of times I was on stage, one as Clara with the ensemble in the Porgy ensemble, and then this was my first time working with the ENO chorus themselves. And you know, in a role like Musetta, I need the chorus. Like I need them. I don't care. Like it's like, yes, it may be a solo role, but who cares if I don't have the chorus? Like it just doesn't matter.
I mean, I feel the chorus are there to make the soloists either be more powerful, more sad, more happy, whatever. We are there to back you up. It's so important. We're not just there to stand on the side and sing a bit like a Greek chorus. We have to, you know, if you're a scary character, we've got to make sure we are scared of you and the audience can see that. Otherwise, who's going to believe you? And Musetta,
the interactions that we had,
exactly,
like all the lads and the women, and you know, like I could make stories with them, and they helped my character come alive. That's because they were willing to go with me. And I have to say, like I came off that night and I was just crying, like with joy.
Joy, it is.
Because I felt like I had been accepted into the family, just by the love that I was given on the stage. You know?
Well, I just believe, I love meeting new people and new guests that come and sing with us. I always want to get to know them and know all about them, because it must be so intimidating to come in, especially on the first day of rehearsals with the chorus. And there's so many of us, they've worked together for so long. And there's little you coming through the door thinking, I don't know if they're going to like me. What if I sing a bad note? All that kind of stuff. Rubbish. Come to me and I will hug you and say, welcome. Show me what you can do. Let's get you know, let's help you.
For that, Claire.
Teamwork.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody in the chorus is so warm and loving.
It's a good group. We're very lucky.
And it's a great vocally. It's a great group as well.
Yeah, well, you know, we're very lucky, because I think you find that in quite a lot of opera choruses in this country, I'm sure worldwide. There's quite a number of soloists in the chorus that do outside work.
Absolutely,
I try and do much outside work as dictates. But so they know, they understand, they respect. Everybody's respectful of each other. And you've got to keep your standards up. So you've got to keep working on your voice no matter what you do. Exactly. You've got to think of yourself. I think the best conductors and directors have said to us, think of yourself as a soloist. We're putting you all together in a group. You've got to blend in certain circumstances, but you are all individual characters. The wonderful Richard Jones used to say that all the time. Wonderful director David Alden. All the best, you know, directors want you to be individual.
You've got to work with them.
You've got to get it right. And I think there's no point in shirking in the background. What's the point? You can't be enjoying yourself. I'm probably a bit of a footlight Fanny. Can't help it. It's in my blood. I just have to do it. I just want to show the audience that I'm enjoying it and really get involved. And the chorus are so good at that. We're not a chorus that stand there and just sing. We have to be involved, and we take risks, and we do as much as possible. So, you know, chorus is, I get paid regularly. I enjoy my job. I work with so many conductors, directors, designers. We're so lucky to have such wonderful teams that we work with. They are all the best, the top of their game. So I feel very privileged. And the theatre.
Yes.
How beautiful is the Colosseum? It is
stunning.
Absolutely stunning. We are. I mean, the auditorium, just to look up at that stunning, you know, the dome. It's just glorious. We're so lucky. We really are.
So lucky. Gabrielle is just saying, you have certainly worked for it. Hats off. Bobby Jeffrey is saying, I loved working with Claire for the Britain. And Rebecca Louise Dale is saying, so gorgeous. What beautiful energy. Absolutely. I always call you the joyous Claire Pendleton because you
Bless your heart.
Joy.
Well, Bobby, it was lovely working with you. You're such a gentleman and you know, great voice, great face. Look at those cheekbones he has. Oh,
I know he is. And he always from the heart. He's always
totally. And that's why I link to these people, you know. And I just think it just feels right, doesn't it? You know, when you've found something. It was a hobby for me, and then I had to take it seriously because of medical reasons. And now it's my life, and I feel completely lost without it in lockdown, you know. And we all do. It's just like you've just taken off a limb, actually 2 limbs. You know, you just feel completely lost. So I feel so privileged and thankful and grateful that E&O have looked after me for so long. I can't believe I've been there for 19 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think
you can see the grey hair.
I think, you know, I think E&O have really raised their game in so many ways, especially now, especially while we're in this. And even, you know, the last show that I was in, which was oh my gosh.
Oh, Rusalka?
Rusalka, thank you, my darling.
Yeah.
Too many things
that was such a shame it didn't get to go on, but it'll be postponed. It will go on.
But the fact that they looked after us all and they honoured the end of our contracts, you know.
That was a big deal.
It was a big deal.
Yeah. I have a lot of friends around the world that, you know, the contracts were constantly thrown in their face saying, you know, force majeure, we can stop this, you're not getting paid. And you think, this is ridiculous. How do they pay their bills and their mortgage?
Yeah, so it's been so beautiful.
E&O have been loyal.
Came on the calls, and Stuart Murphy, you know, Michelle Williams, and you know, has rung us up and to check.
She's great.
All of her team.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, I do really feel that. Yeah, I've got to take my hat off to them.
Yeah, we're very lucky. They do look after you. It's a proper family. I know people get bored with hearing that, but it is because we're with these people every day. Generally, you know, rehearsals on the phone in the building. So if it doesn't work, you notice, don't you?
Yeah.
You know.
So can you just give us a day in the life of being a chorus member?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So excuse me, I've got hay fever and my eyes keep watering.
So while you're doing that, Marjorie's saying, love the E&O, the chorus is tops. Anthea Parishchak is saying, morning, ladies. And Steve Miel is also saying, morning, ladies.
Oh, so bless you all.
Give us a quick rundown of a day in a life.
So when we're at our peak, chorus, we could be working on 3 or 4 operas at once, which is tough. So you could be maybe in rep calls learning the music for 1. You could be in studio rehearsals for another. So you start in the morning with 1, afternoon another. You could be in stage rehearsals or even dress rehearsal for another in the evening. You could be Sitzprobe. You've got the lovely Sitzprobe with the orchestra, which is my favourite rehearsal because I love watching the orchestra. Oh, and the music, the opera comes alive. It's great. And then in performance. So we could be very busy. We don't generally do 3 session days. They're very good at that. They try and stagger it, but split days are tough. You could be in the morning on stage, you know, for 10 o'clock, 10:30, 4 wigs of makeup. Then you get a few hours off, and then you might have a show that evening or another stage rehearsal. So it is very busy. You do get your lunch breaks and your tea breaks, but it's a long old day. Some of the operas are very long, of course. So we could finish. I mean, me not living in London, I sometimes get home at 20 to 1 in the morning thinking, I've got to go back in the next day. You know, how am I going to do this? There's me putting on my face on the train, really embarrassed, looking around, thinking I just didn't have time in the morning to get a child up for school and sort
Yes,
myself
because
out.
you're a mum as well, aren't you?
And I didn't know I was a mum. I was on stage high kicking and doing all kinds of things in Kismet and all these shows, not knowing I was pregnant.
Oh my
Until
God.
I was 30 weeks.
No!
Yeah. And then the next show we did was Magic Flute. And all of a sudden I was out here. I was like the size of a house. And we have children actors in that. And I ended up, there were so many sopranos off that night. I ended up with 6 children and this big belly. I remember, it's so funny. But yes, yeah, going on stage, not knowing you're pregnant, high kicking and doing all these things. And that's another story. That's a long story. But yeah, you know, it happens.
Oh, wow.
So
do you do so like you have a lot of costume changes in that day as well, don't you?
Oh, we can have costume fittings, and I adore that department. They always make me look fabulous. Yes. Sarah Bowen, Christina McGlynn, and all the team. Yes. Oh, they work so hard with you. The collaboration is amazing, and the makers that come in, I love them all. They're just so supportive, and they make you feel safe, because you know there's nothing worse than going on stage feeling you look dreadful and not being able to be your character. So we are very lucky, and yeah, we could have costume fittings. Some shows we've had a number of costume changes, really quick ones. I mean, I remember Kovanchina, and I think there was about 5 costume changes. Damnation of Faust, I had a 30-second costume change in the wings and running on the front. So that was, you know, it's interesting, but it's...
You have to be quite disciplined, don't you? Because there's a lot of, and I have to say, all the backstage staff, all the management, everything. I mean, to make that machine, which is E&O work.
The backstage crew are amazing. The fact that they have no machinery to help them move all of that, the flies boys, the props makers, everybody backstage, it runs like clockwork, and it has to. The dresses are amazing. What would we do without our amazing dresses?
The makeup,
like love the wigs and makeup. Love them.
You know, so it's that thing, isn't it? But all, you know, as a chorus member, all those people that you've got to interact with on a daily basis.
I mean, you need what? I don't know, 500 people to put on an opera, because you've got, you know, your lighting crew, your everything. I mean, it's incredible. And then you've got your front of house. So there's hundreds of people involved just putting on an opera. Subtitles, the lovely Damien in library.
So Oh, and anytime you ask him for music, he's like, oh yeah, what can I do to help? And it's his team are just exactly the same as well. I mean, it's just,
they're unsung heroes in the library. They work so hard.
Yes, absolutely. So Lena is saying wow. Anthea is saying hilarious. That's about your baby story, I'm sure. Marjorie Overy is asking, when do you have time to learn your parts?
Very good question. You know, we're very lucky that we have a lot of musical rep calls. So what we do is we've got a wonderful chorus master, and we always had
what a musical rep call is. Just
so our chorus master at the moment. Well, yeah. Where should we start? So Mark Biggins is our chorus master. He will teach us the music. That's what a rep call is. Rep just means repertoire. So we go into rehearsal, we open the score, and we start learning the music. Then we start putting the words to it. Then we try and memorize chunks of it. And we do, you know, memory work is so important. I think the best chorus masters we've had have given us enough time to do memory work in the rehearsal. Because, you know, sometimes with some of this hard music that we have, you know, modern music, you can only get it by repetition. You know, some of the patterns are peculiar, so the only way to learn it is repetition. And then we put the cherry on the top and put in all the beautiful dynamics and colours but repetition is really important. We're not meant to work at home, but I sometimes take some scores home to have a look, and I'm sure some of my colleagues do, because you know, if you're conscientious, you want to get it right. You know, you don't want to go on that stage thinking, I don't know what I'm singing. And that has happened in the past. You know, I thought, I don't know what's coming next. So, you know, it can happen, but repetition, you know, is important. But then once you get into the staging of it, that helps your memory work too.
Yes.
So once you're rehearsing a move, you think, oh, that goes with the music. I'm singing that line there. Then you hear the orchestra and the costumes. Then you pick up a prop. Oh, I'm picking up a prop on that line there. So there's lots of these little things to help you remember the music. You know,
I mean, when I was doing Laura in Louisa Miller, myself and the chorus, which you covered for me for one night, because
darling, you were fabulous.
I was so happy. I was so happy that it was you that was covering me on my final night, like simply because well, we now think I had COVID, and that's what we think.
Unreal.
Obviously, I couldn't leave, I couldn't breathe, and I couldn't walk down the stairs. And I hadn't been able to get out of bed. I had to go into hospital. I was on, like, so we now think that's what it was.
It must have been, because you're a strong girl and you would keep going and
I
going.
know,
and
I never miss shows. So I never ever. But when I knew it was, you know, knowing it was you, I was just, you know.
Oh, it was a dream come true. Bless you. No, you were with me on that stage when I went on.
Yeah.
And although I've waited a long time to debut in a role, it is nerve-wracking because you rehearse with a cover cast, and it's very different when you go on with the real cast, because they do things slightly differently. Fair enough. But everybody looks after you. The chorus were amazing. They were running to me with props because I didn't have time to run and get them.
Yeah.
It was just joyous. And I felt you were with us. You were with us. You know, you really made that role. And how lucky to get to sing with my darling friend Elizabeth Llewellyn.
I know! She was
so lucky. That's just a dream.
I know.
Wonderful experience. I shall never forget it. But I mean, following in your footsteps, oh my gosh.
No, as I've always said, you are a radiant light off the stage. And that's what I was saying when I first started that role, you know, and I realized I was going to be singing with the chorus so much, I was like, can I just go and rehearse with them? Because I don't want to be the soloist who sings something else and they're singing something else. So that thing that you were talking about of watching Mark do the memorization, and we were all doing the memorization together, and I just felt
absolutely, it's important.
Together, we were a team together, and I just really saw the evidence of that. You know, I never get to witness those rehearsals, but because that role, Laura, was, you know, half like solo, half the chorus.
Singing at the same time.
It just really needed that. So thank you so much. Anthea is saying a great and valuable organisation full of great and valuable people. Hear, hear. So my next thing is, my lovely, what are your 3 tips? Come on now.
Right, 3 tips. Well, if it's 3 tips about, well, anything or even music, whatever. For me, go with your gut instinct. Whatever you do, you know intuitively there's something in there that says, I shouldn't do that. Don't do it. Go with what your gut says. Also, for me, talking about singing, I have to sing from the heart. I am an introvert, but I have to sing from my heart. If you want all that, but there's nothing in there, what's the point? It's empty. So always sing from the heart, do everything from the heart, and really listen to others. You learn so much. Just enjoy listening and learning from their experiences, because it really helps you develop your intuition, skills, whatever. So go with your gut, do it from the heart. Listen.
And I loved when I was talking to you yesterday that you gave two others as well that I felt I really want to say, is that you said take a risk.
Absolutely, always.
And give things a chance.
Totally. If you don't take a risk, you will be that bitter person down the line saying, why didn't I try this? And that could have been me. I worked in an office 9 to 5. I could have still been there now and been very grey and boring, and and you've got to take a risk. You really have.
And I
totally
think
agree.
at this time, I would like to say to people that you do that comment about taking a risk is even more needed right now. That you know, not to think that my life has ended as an artist or I can't sing anymore as an artist.
Yeah.
There's going to be a time in a few months, even in 4 or 5 months' time, where you will be back singing, where you will be back doing your artistry and your music. So why don't you spend this time upskilling and learning new things? And if you don't feel that you've got the heart to do that, why don't you reach out to people who need you? You know, send them little clips of you singing or playing or
talking. I've done some video clips just talking.
You've done some wonderful video things.
Just about my garden or going on a walk. You just, because sometimes you just don't feel you want to sing, but just, you've got to be alive. Just be part of it. Keep going, be alive.
Yes.
We can do this.
Yes, life has not ended. We are still creative, energetic, spiritual beings. Please. So they're fantastic tips, Claire. So tomorrow I have Stefania Monto. She's going to kill me.
Wow, what a name. Tomorrow,
I love her. She's a pianist and she also runs the women's radio station as well. But I get the chance to interview her this time.
Wonderful. Have a good time there.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have her on board tomorrow. Do you have any final thoughts, Claire? Any thoughts? They don't have to be to do with music. Go ahead.
Be kind. It's so important. Be kind always.
Yes. Even when you're stressed. Even when you're stressed. I had to learn actually that I didn't know this about myself, but sometimes I can be a bit sharp under stress. So I've had to be kind even under stress.
Exactly. And this links into the last one. Breathe.
Yes.
Breathe. If you feel angry, take a breath. Count to 10.
Yes.
Calm yourself down.
Yeah.
Be kind. Breathe. Just breathe.
I love you, Claire. You are such joy. I'm so glad it was you, and thank you so much for coming on and joining us. We love you.
Not at all. I've loved it. Thank you so much for asking me. And I'm sure you're all so wonderful. And Nadine, you do such a great job. This is to you.